Alright, all you streetlight crusaders, and I guess a couple of you living or dead wrestling fans out there tonight, welcome back to the Tuesday night special. And yeah, things are really weird around here because the sun is up, there's headlights moving down the street, and apparently the only thing I see outside right now is a whole bunch of crows and a whole bunch of empty buildings. And Dan the Weatherman Stu is hyperventilating right now, so we're just gonna try to get this show on the road. So yeah, Monday Night Raw for this week takes place in St. Louis, Missouri. Or what Soul Coughing would say, St. Louis is listening, which was one of their songs. Yeah, I'm trying to make light of this situation, but at the same time, it's very weird and my voice is starting to echo throughout the streets. So Monday Night Raw would kick off with none other than the returning Paige, coming back after successful neck surgery to finally give herself a little bit of credit for coming up with a team of the Kabuki Warriors for both Kairi Sane and Asuka wearing brand new outfits to voice their opinions on the team and then decide to betray one Paige by not only knocking the microphone out of her hand, but Asuka actually hitting her with the poison mist directly in the eyes for her to scream repeatedly, "I need to get this out of my eyes, somebody get me some water," for them to take about a good 3 to 5 minutes to get her water, and then for Becky Lynch to come out to get a revenge for what happened last week with her run-in with the poison mist for the first match of the night to take place, which would be none other than Kairi Sane going one-on-one against Becky Lynch. And during this match, action will go back and forth, including an excellent counter by Kairi Sane out of a suplex into a nasty flatliner-like DDT for a near fall. Then you would see Becky Lynch counter back with not only a Bexploder, but also a New Jersey Jam from the second rope for a near fall. But ultimately, this match will come to an emphatic end after Kairi Sane would hit a spinning back fist and would lead directly into the disarmor by Becky Lynch for Becky Lynch to win this match via submission. And I almost forgot to mention during this match, Asuka tried to interfere in this said contest, but to no avail. Yeah. And not to mention they're wearing brand new black outfits to match the dark attitude that they now have, which is pretty cool. So if Kairi Sane is now a dark pirate, does that mean she comes down to the ring wearing one of those skull and crossbone deals, or no? According to what the Maestro said, not yet. She hasn't earned her real pirate stripes. Right. Anyway, folks, the next thing to take place on Monday Night Raw would be a match between Buddy Murphy going one-on-one against R-Truth. And R-Truth, who decided to get his prescription glasses to make sure he doesn't lose sight of the 24/7 7-Eleven European Championship that he lost last week. And Buddy Murphy would say, you need to focus more on this match than the 24/7 championship. And at first, R-Truth really was focused during this match and probably had one of his best showings of this year against Buddy Murphy. Cause not only he would be able to hit that cool calf kick that he would be able to do, he would also be able to hit the lie detector during this match and even a crucifix head scissors during this said contest. But unfortunately, while he had the upper hand, the next thing you know, the entire 24/7 conga line would come out with not only the Bollywood Boys, No Way Jose, Eric Young, and I do believe somebody else who was in the mix that I couldn't see during the whole circle around the ring, for R-Truth to take his eyes off the ball, go to the outside of the ring and try to capture the championship by running in the same direction everybody else was in instead of running backwards. And oh yeah, Maestro told me Kurt Hawkins was a part of this conga line. And after doing a full they elapsed on the outside of the ring, R-Truth would head back inside the ring to the waiting Tiger knee to the face by Buddy Murphy for Murphy to win this match successfully via pinfall. And yeah, this has to be proof that for those people who think R-Truth is just a silly wrestler, proves that he can really go in the ring if he's not distracted, especially by a championship that he's won well over 20 times. But he'll get it again, most likely by Friday. That's my earliest bet. And the next match to take place on Monday Night Raw would be Ricochet going one-on-one against the Scottish Terminator himself, Drew McIntyre. And during this match, while Hulk Hogan and Ric Flair was at ringside representing their both respective teams for the Crown Jewel matchup that will take place on Halloween, you would see Ricochet getting an early jump on the match to get revenge against Drew McIntyre after what he did last week by not only doing a suicide dive to the outside of the ring, also following it up with a modified corkscrew splash to the outside of the ring, and would even try to take him out with a crossbody, only for Drew McIntyre to say he had enough of that crap, do a fallaway slam, even follow it up with the move he did last week, which was a modified version of the Claymore kick to the jaw of Ricochet during this match, and would even do his cross powerbomb into the turnbuckle pad, which in my opinion is a lot more disgusting than the buckle bomb that Seth Rollins does, with a lot more effect to it. But ultimately, this match would come to an emphatic end once Ricochet would get the upper hand and the advantage and would try to go for his Magic Bullet 630 splash, only to get hit with a hometown RKO of the most disgusting variety from out of nowhere from Randy Orton, for Ricochet to win this match but end up a loser by the end of it all via disqualification. And this RKO has to be one of the nastiest ones I've seen to date, comparing it almost to the one that happened to Rob Van Dam the one night when he got that concussion when Randy Orton hit him with the RKO as well, during his whole Legend Killer tour days. But either way you look at it, after the match was over and Ricochet still recovering on the ground, the hometown hero Randy Orton would celebrate amongst the fans and would shake the hand of one Ric Flair, sending a warning shot to the team of Team Hogan. And what a better way to do it than in St. Louis. And immediately after that warning shot, we would get another warning shot from the Authors of Pain saying that they're going to leave a mark on the tag team division, and says that being effective and dominant is not only physical but mental, and really looks forward to playing mind games with the tag teams of the Raw Tag Team division, and that's all they need to know this week about the Authors of Pain. I'm telling you, they need to get a Legion of Doom area to do most of these things, but what do I know? And the next match to take place on Monday Night Raw would be the Raw Tag Team Champions of the Viking Raiders going one-on-one against the team known as the Chicago Cubs. Why? Why, oh why, in St. Louis where the Cardinals play, you would have a team called the Chicago Cubs? I mean, last week or the week before last, that would have been a great idea, but not this week. And the Viking Raiders would prove why by not only doing their classic senton splash in the corner, assisted splash in the ground, and would also follow it up with the powerbomb World's Strongest Slam combination that Eric would do, and finally taking up the smaller of the two Chicago Cubs to a Viking experience that he'll never forget, almost knocking him out of his jersey and of his shoes, for the Viking Raiders to win this match in quick fashion via pinfall. And not to mention, yeah, go Cardinals. I think that's all they needed to say to actually win over the fans, but beating the crap out of the Chicago Cubs? Close enough. Close enough. And the next match to take place on Monday Night Raw would be none other than Andrade Cien going one-on-one against Sin Cara with his new backup in the form of Carolina. And the fact that they spelled it Carolina is funnier than all hell, but will Carolina play any form of dividends during this said match? Sort of. Because during this match, action went back and forth, including Andrade doing a very cool oopsie-daisy off the top rope by knocking Sin Cara almost into the crowd. But then Sin Cara would come back with not only a very cool Hurricane Rana, but also would do another Hurricane Rana during this match, literally spiking the head of one Andrade Cien into the dirt, and then we would see what Carolina would bring to the table during this match when Selena Vega tried to interfere and would try to go for her Hurricane Rana that she did to Sin Cara, only for her to reverse it into a disgusting, I guess, barricade powerbomb during this match. But meanwhile, inside the ring, Sin Cara getting the Monday Night Special roll-up with the feet on the ropes for El Idolo to win again and make a fool out of the returning Sin Cara via pinfall. I mean, granted he had backup this time, but they were a lot smarter than he anticipated. Really was. And the next match to take place on this said night of Monday Night Raw would be none other than Charlotte Flair and Natalya going one-on-one against the Iconics, which I didn't know got traded in the draft, but either way, was a pretty good match, because the Iconics were getting on all cylinders to try to take out Natalya and make sure that she did not make the tag during this match by not only doing a series of double team moves along the lines of a bulldog knee strike for a near fall, and would even do their iconic kicks, which I came up with the name of the move since they simultaneously kicked Natalya in the face over and over again for a near fall. But ultimately, this match will come to an end again when Natalya finally gained control of this match thanks to Charlotte with a big boot to the face of Peyton Royce, for Billie Kay to get put in the sharpshooter during this match, and for Peyton Royce to try to get inside the ring to break it up, only to get speared by Charlotte Flair in half, for the team of Natalya and Charlotte Flair to win this match via pinfall. And does this mean that they're a new tag team going for the Women's Tag Team Championships? Chances are, since her other partner in the form of Lacey Evans is now officially on Friday Night SmackDown. Gonna really miss her on Raw with all of her Penelope pit stop hats and different trinkets that she usually would wear. Really am. And the next match to take place on Monday Night Raw would see none other than the Universal Studios of Orlando, Florida's champion Seth Rollins going one-on-one against the mighty Redwood himself, Eric Rowan, in a Falls Count Anywhere match. And during this match, it really did live up to his name, because Rowan and Seth Rollins would fight all over the arena, from not only the concession stand where Rollins would get put in a uranagi through the merch table, and also would get thrown into the championship belt merch, and the belt and everything else would fall on top of him, only for him to get back the advantage with a steel chair, fight back toward the arena, make their way up the ramp, for Seth Rollins to hit an Avada Kedavra and a curb stomp, only for Rowan to kick out at the count of 2, and for Rollins' gears to start turning by not only jumping off the announce table, trying to beat the crap out of Rowan, and almost getting killed with an equipment case from Rowan during this match, for Seth Rollins to finally gain control with the help of a ladder, hit yet another blackout on Rowan, then to go into the halftime heat playbook, tell a guy in the back, hey, does anybody know how to operate this forklift? And for him to get a guy to actually turn it on, and for him to pull the lever of that said forklift, for him to use the forklift to pin Rowan in the backstage area for Seth Rollins to win this match via pinfall. And before anybody at home thinks this was a one-sided match, let's just say Seth Rollins was tossed around like a rag doll during the early goings of this said contest and had to come up with a different strategy to try to combat Rowan and his over-aggressive power. And the next match to take place on Monday Night Raw would see none other than the United States Champion AJ Styles going one-on-one against Humberto Carrero, which happened to be the main event for the night. Nice. And the reason why this match was the main event, in my opinion, is because of the high-octane offense of not only AJ Styles, but Humberto Carrero during this match, who continues to impress me every week he shows up on Monday Night Raw by not only doing this Aztec suplex that he does that strangely enough reminds me of the same moonsault that Christopher Daniels used to do, not the BME, the one that he does where he uses the ropes to actually flip and land on his opponent for a near fall, and also pulling off a very impressive high-angle moonsault during this match as well. But ultimately, the phenomenal one would come back during this match by not only doing a tornado barricade-assisted DDT on the outside of the ring, but also being able to pull off his calf crusher during this match, forcibly making Humberto Carrero tap out in the center of the ring via submission. And AJ Styles, after winning the match, would try to shake the hand of Humberto Carrero to show his respect after all the comments that he made backstage saying that you picked the wrong person to try to make a name for yourself for the night, and would wish him luck backstage, but then again would show disrespect to one Humberto Carrero by doing a not today hair slick back, I'm not shaking your hand move for Humberto Carrero to slap the face of AJ Styles and pay for it in the form of a Styles Clash, and was just about to receive a Magic Killer until the Street Profits, who earlier in the night who said that they want the smoke, which I figured out the other week thanks to a couple of you Streetlight Crusaders out there, meaning that they want to fight, and it came out there for a fight to take on the OC and even do a modified shoulder block by the Curse of Greatness himself, Angelo Dawkins, and for the team of the Street Profits to help out their friend Humberto Carrero for the night, and for the OC to miss out on a very special St. Louis rookie beatdown. And I got a feeling this whole moment between the Street Profits and the OC is far from over, and hopefully this leads to some form of match by the Survivor Series. Or chances are they're probably in that big, giant, oversized tag team turmoil match that's gonna take place at Crown Jewel. But besides tag team turmoil, folks, we will go into relationship turmoil in the form of one Lana and Rusev on a very special episode of The King's Court that would be called, Divorce Court. So that show that takes place in the morning on CW, besides trying to figure out if they're really trying to go for that, Lana would explain her actions of why in the world she did what she did, besides calling Rusev a sex addict, wanting sex on the hour, and everywhere they go, for Rusev to say, "Can you blame me?" And I would have to say no in a way, but at the same time respect her space, and then would also say that Bobby Lashley told her that she got cheated on by Rusev is the true reason why in the world she's doing what she's doing now. What? And I had to say the same thing that Rusev said, because Rusev has been loyal to Lana since day one. And with these new revelations coming to light and both of them trying to talk it out or yell at each other in the ring about it, next thing you know, Lashley would come out and get in a fight in the center of the ring with the Bulgarian Brute, leading to kendo sticks, punches to the face, and Rusev actually taking off his wedding band and shoving it down the throat of one Bobby Lashley. And then Lana would come in during this whole beatdown and interfere not only with the kendo stick, but would also low blow Rusev, or more or less Bobby Lashley would be the one to do it. Thank you for paying attention, Maestro. Then for Lana to slap him in the face, and then another low blow to be delivered by Lashley in a running field goal kick sort of way, for the third low blow to happen for the night in the form of not only Lashley, but Lana making out on top of one Rusev to close out Monday Night Raw this week in the silliest way known possible. And still with no real recollection of why in the world this relationship is going on. And yes, Maestro, I heard what they said, but I don't accept that answer by a long shot, especially with the fact that she believes Bobby Lashley, of all people, that he's cheating on her. Ah, man, this is really starting to get off the rails, but we should find out more by next week. But besides that, folks, I think it's time for us to go and grab a glass of water from wherever the world we are right now. And when we return, we'll be back with more of the Tuesday Night of the Living Dead right after this. So don't fall asleep just yet, folks, and stay tuned.